Hey, this is Ragnon, and this is a setup guide on how to set up my UI that I'm publicly making available, RagnonUI. The goal with this UI is to have it be something clean and easy to use between multiple characters, and most importantly, something that uses all publicly available WeakAuras and resources so that it can be shared for free. So, um, uh, to get started, the first step you'll want to do is join my community Discord if you haven't already, which you can find a link in the description. And then on the Discord, let me just make sure I'm recording real quick. Yep. On the Discord, you can scroll down and find RagnonUI setup. You'll want to start from the beginning and work your way through. I have opted to keep everything modular because most of these parts you're probably already using anyways. And rather than having like one folder that you download, similar to Atrocities AUI or anything like that, I kept it as like just the WeakAuras and stuff, and so you can be modular with it and pick and choose what you like and leave what you don't. So the first step is you'll want to install ElvUI if you have not already, which if you have not done that, then you go to tuckui.com. tuckui.org/client. You can just click that link. And you'll want to download based on what system you're using. And then once you download that, just open it up and click the two buttons to install both tuckui and ElvUI. It's that simple. And then you want to reopen your WoW and make sure that you have ElvUI turned on as an add-on, and it will load up. The second thing you'll want to do is download all of the add-ons via CurseForge or WowUp or whatever you use. I use CurseForge. So download all of the listed add-ons that you'll find here in this add-on list. After you've done all that, then you'll want to open up World of Warcraft and follow the initial ElvUI setup steps. It's not super important what you choose because a lot of those will be overwritten with the profile that we import later. But you can just run through that first set of steps to get it out of your way. After you're done with that, then you'll want to open up the ElvUI setup settings by typing /EC. And you'll see down here at the very bottom, profiles. We're going to import a profile that you can find via the link down here below. So if you scroll down past the add-ons and the WeakAuras and stuff, the first thing we're going to do is get all these things set up. So the ElvUI profile, you can click here. It'll take you to a Wago page. You can click on copy import string, and then click on import and paste it here. And then you'll want to go down the list and get all of these different ElvUI things. So then the aura filters. Oops. So you copy that. And then I don't know if you need these other things or not, but I included the nameplate style filters, character settings, and global account settings. I don't actually think you need those because the nameplate stuff is taken over by Plater. And I think these are just my personal things, but I'm kind of new to this, so I included them as well. But you may not need those. But in case you do, you just do the same thing. You copy and paste it into these other boxes. When you're done, then you'll want to import it. Okay, and then you go to profiles, and it will probably name it as my profile or something like that. If you want, you can create a new profile and name it RagnonUI. I'm going to also name delete me so that I can get rid of this later. And you would click on OK, and then copy from my profile or whatever it imported it as. Then whenever you get onto a different character or something, you can just click here on existing profiles and load up the RagnonUI. For me, it would look like that, but I'm going to delete this one later because I'm not sure if I have more updates to do after this or not. So once you've got the ElvUI profile set up, it's time to go and do the other ones. So after you've got all the add-ons installed, then you can go ahead and import the plater profile, the details profile, method raid tools, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and click on plater here and copy import string. Go back to game, type /plater. And then down here at the bottom, right here, profiles, import profile, paste it, and it should be by default say RagnonUI. I'm just going to name it to delete me so that it's deletable later. A lot of these require a game reload, and it should do it automatically or put up a prompt telling you to reload. So now that the plater is done, we're going to now go ahead and do our details profile. So for right here, you can go ahead and copy all this. Surely there's a better way to copy this. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I'm not logged in. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay, you just double click. Sorry. I had a brain fart moment. Okay, so we click here on the options wheel, and we go down to profiles, and we're going to go to import profile and paste it in here. And name it RagnonUI, and then I'm going to also add delete me so that I can delete this later. Import auto run scripts. You can leave that unselected as well. I don't think I have any auto run scripts. And that sets us up over here. I'm going to go over at the very end why everything's set up the way that it is and how to use the UI to its intended design. Method raid tools, that's another one we import. So copy and paste that. So in game you type /MRT, or I do ERT because I'm old school. Profiles, and you'll want to import. And then I'm going to go ahead and I already have a RagnonUI in there, so it'll override it. I'm going to just push cancel, but you would push either rewrite current or save as new. And then it'll have the profile loaded like this in existing profiles. Okay, so that's loaded in, and then I don't have BigWigs shared yet. If I figure out a way to share that, I will do that, but for right now, it does not appear to be shareable. OmniCD is the last one that we need. So go to copy macro. It's not actually a macro, that's just how WAGO identifies it. Type /omnicd and go to profiles. And then you'll want to, go to profile sharing and click import, paste, and decode it. Okay, and then here under profiles, you would load, it'll say RagnonUI. Mine's named import, but for right now, I'm just going to swap it to this so that it shows correctly. So at this point now, you should be running the Ragnon profile on ElvUI, details, plater, OmniCD, and there's probably one I'm missing. Method raid tools as well. The next setting is we need to get our WeakAuras set up. So you would go up here to the WeakAuras. A quick note, I use the Luxthos class WeakAuras for all of these because they're publicly available and free. I do do one important step to make it fit with the rest of the UI. I scale it down to 0.8 using the global scale. So I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. I also disable both the utility and maintenance groups because they kind of conflict with where I like to put my RAID frames, and instead I track them in a different way, which I'll show you. So I would go ahead and go to my class. I'm doing this on my Death Knight, so I'll click right here, copy it, and then type /WA to open up WeakAuras. Import, and paste it in there. This one does take a while to import because it's big. All of the class WeakAuras are pretty big. Okay, and then here in group scale, I'm going to move that down until it's 0.8. And then if you open up the individual WeakAuras inside of this package, I'm going to go to Utilities, Load, and Set for Never. And then Maintenance, Load, and Set for Never. After you do the class WeakAura, then you'll want to go down and get all of the other WeakAuras. I've already got these imported, so I'm not going to do that right now. But I try to put the most important ones up here at the top. The ones most commonly used for raid, the dungeon essentials. This one specifically is very helpful for dungeons. It has sound cues and stuff, and it is paired with the add-on up here, shared media causes. I'm specifically going over that one because I get a lot of questions about the sound cues that I have in dungeons and stuff. So that is how you do that. You need both of those things. You need this WeakAura package, and you also need this add-on that includes the sound cues used by many other add-ons and WeakAuras. So you'd go down the list and install all of those. Down here I have class-specific stuff as I find useful WeakAuras or as I make them for the classes that I play, then you can find them here. If I don't play that class or that spec, then there's probably not that many resources for you, but you can add those on your own for whatever you have enjoyed with your class. All right, next step. The chat, I don't like the ElvUI default and stuff like that, so I actually right-click and I go to Settings, and I both reset chat positions, because there will be one that's over here. There's a right that's underneath all the details windows. Doesn't work well for me. I don't like that. And then we're also going to reset all of the chat defaults. For the next step, I right-click and go to Create New Window. I like making a social window and also a loot window. Oops. Create New Window, loot. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and reopen the settings. For the social tab, I like leaving emotes off. I turn on officer chat, raid leader, raid warning, instance leader. And then in channels, I like to turn all of these off because I don't like the spam. I actually leave the channels in general. I type like /leave1 or /leave2, whatever's doing the spam. So in this case, I'm 4 looks like it's trade services. I'm going to type /leave space 4 and get out of that. Don't want all that spam. And then under loot, you want to turn off all of the chat and instead go here to other and turn on item loot. And you can turn on money loot if you want. I don't really care about that. I just use this to show like items that drop in raid and whatnot. Okay, then we push OK, and I mostly keep this on social, and that just shows all of the channels that I care about. But if I need to see other things like people logging in or emotes or whatever, then I click on general. Over here, looking at details, I like to set this as damage done, healing done, dynamic overall damage, and then this one I set for deaths, or sometimes I set it for like interrupts or dispels or what. This is kind of the one that I flex around the most to find other information. And you can switch that quickly by right-clicking and then picking what you want it to be. So just right-click on the banner. And it will show, I think, 5 targets by default, but if you need to see more, you can quickly just drag it up. Make sure it's locked. All of these need to be locked. And then looking at the rest of the design of the UI, over here I've got the ability bars. They're intentionally small and over to the side so that you're not staring at them down here, because that takes your vision away from everything that's important up here. But you still have access to them. So if you're on something that, a class that's not familiar for you and you need to double check a keybind, oh, what do I have Abomination Limb on again? You can quickly look over here and see it. The next thing is these little side bar here. What I use these for is this side, I use it for things like potions. So let me just reconfigure this real quick. I like having my potions and stuff on this left side. And so you can either click it or just view it. And then over here on the right side, I've got all my food and travel stuff. So here I have like my weekly chest macro that I can look at my vault, hearthstones. I usually have my food, augment rune, all this stuff on this side. And then this side is for clickable things in combat. This mostly came about with me playing Brewmaster, because it just has so many keybinds. There's some things that I don't necessarily want to bind. I just want to click because I don't need to use it that often. Up here, there are 3 action bars that are actually hidden. And this is what takes the place of the class WeakAura by Luxthos, the utilities, and the maintenance. So by default, those would be shown down here, but that's where I have my raid frame. So instead, I track this over here, similar to AUI. So what you would look at the class WeakAura here, and anything that's not tracked by default, you'll add over here. So what I personally like to do is the bottom row, I like tracking my kicks and stuff. So here on the bottom row, I'll go ahead and put Mind Freeze and my other AoE stops. So I'll put Asphyxiate. Where's Blinding Sleet? Maybe I don't have Blinding Sleet in the spec. Death Grip, and so on. And then above that, I personally like putting my macros so that I can see those quickly. And then other abilities that are like, raid-wide utility stuff, I'd put AMZ. Maybe I don't have AMZ in the spec. I haven't played this character in a while. That's why I'm using him. But you'd fill it up with other things that aren't shown here, things like movement, kicks, your defensives that aren't shown. So I like having all of those up here so that they're quickly available at a glance, even though they're not tracked in the WeakAura as it is after we took those 2 things out. Looking at BigWigs, again, I don't have a profile for some reason that I've been able to share. But if you need, if at the time of you watching this, if you don't have my profile, if I haven't figured it out, here's how you can get it switched to how I have it. I use the bars here, the emphasized bars. I put it over the target frame, and I put it about this high so that all the debuffs and stuff that are shown, it's not interfering with that. So I put all those there. The longer bars I put over here. And then we want to make sure that they're stacked in the correct order. So I'm going to create a couple test bars. I want the shortest duration to be up here at the top so that it grows downward. And then on the emphasized bars, it needs to be opposite so that it's not growing down into the target frame. So we'll click on bars. Let's see here. Emphasized bars. And I want it to grow upwards. That should fix it. Okay, so that has the shortest duration up here, and then the shortest duration down at the bottom for this one, so it's not interfering with that. So that's good. And then just another note, per raid boss and stuff like that, something that you can do that I really enjoy doing to emphasize certain mechanics is you can go to raid bosses, click on the specific raid that you're looking for, and then the boss. And let's say that, for example, on the terror clause, I want a big audio notification so that I know when to when to switch with my opposite tank. So you click right here. You would go to emphasize and emphasize me only. Go to sound, and you can set a custom sound here. So, for example, the alarm and the warning, I might have it set as bam.
Bam!
That way, when it comes up and it happens, I'll be able to hear that bam sound effect, and I'll know that it's time to switch. I believe that is it for setting up the UI. If you have any questions, I check my Discord every day and stuff, so please feel free to hit me up with messages, and I'll be happy to walk you through it in any way that I can. I hope this is helpful for you. I'll try to keep this updated as much as possible. So all updates and all links and stuff you'll be able to find in this RagnonUI setup channel. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the UI and have a great day. See you.